Okay, so we have 80% of H equals 140. So we need to find, right, the whole. So we take our part 140, right, and divide it by the percent. We always convert our percent to a decimal when we're working with the calculator. So 80% is the same as 0.8. So, right, 80% of 175 is 140. Okay. So of course, when you are calculating for the whole, right, it should always be larger than the parts. And of course, when you look at the percent, you know, you're like, wow, this is going to be, if it's 80%, then it's going to be pretty close, right? Because it's almost 100%, if that makes sense. Okay, so 15, what percent of 125 is 15? So now we take, right, we need the percent. So we take the part divided by the whole. So our part is 15 divided by 125. So our percent is 12%, right? Because if my answer is 0.12, right, then I just convert that back to a percent. Okay. Okay, no worries. My husband talks to himself all the time too. It's okay. I'm just always like, what? Because he talks to himself, but then he also gets mad if I don't listen to him. And then it's like, okay, you make it really hard. I don't know when to pay attention and when not to. It's too hard. All right. So same thing is, right, we're going to do our part and divide it by our percent. So 0.95. So and I guess that makes sense, right? 95% of 2000 is 1900. All right. So then 17 is like 15. So once again, we take our part 75 divided by our whole 300. So, right. Yep. 75 is 25% of 300. Okay. And then we need to find the part on these last two. So we take the percent times the whole. Okay. So 68% or 0.68 times 40. So our part is 27.2. Okay. And then next one, 0.12 times 250. Is 30. Okay. So this should be review. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Do you want to take the GED practice test is what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay. Sure. Well, you can only schedule 2 tests in a day. Do you want to take the practice test first, or do you just want to schedule the actual test? Okay.
Now I want to try to do all 5 categories.
Okay. Sure. So there isn't a practice test for civics. So we can do the 4 GED subjects for sure. Yeah. Do you want to do that today? And then if you get likely to pass, you can schedule those tests for Thursday, or do you want to do the practice tests on Thursday? Okay. Okay. Are you cool? Like if we work through the break, and then at the break, I can move you to the testing room if you want to focus on that instead of in class. Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, we can do that. So we'll just warm up for another half an hour max, and then at the break, I'll get you set up.
Divide the main percentage to the whole number.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there we get all this I got down.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah, and we're just reviewing right now, but well, let me here, Spencer, let's get everyone else rolling. So let's continue warming up. You guys on here. So go ahead and just work on these work on these 6 problems. Don't worry about gridding the answer, just write your answer down. Okay, and then, yeah, I'll go. Yeah, so Spencer, if you are cool, you can bring your scratch paper and calculator.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
The calculator's with them?
Thanks for being patient, guys. I know it's a little crazy. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's why we weren't liking this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let me. Yeah. Shoot. That's right. I need to tell IT that glitchy projector. Yeah. IT is short for information technology. So they're the dudes who do the computers. Oh. Glitchy projector. Okay. All right, still need a little bit more time on these 6, or is everyone good to go? Awesome. Okay, Matthias completed 60% of his 15 foul shots on Sunday. How many shots did he complete? Yep. And maybe you didn't even need, right? Did you need to do the math, or could you just guess from the choices on that one? Well, luckily, that's one thing that Anna has taught me, right? Is that when you have the multiple choice, definitely, use your intuition, because the other answers don't make any sense if that at all is logical to you, but no pressure. Yeah, no, I just read it and I just looked at it and then I was like, oh, we don't have to really plug this one. But anyway, the math would work. All right, when he passed the 13-mile mark, Ed knew that he had completed 50% of the Boston Marathon. So this one, right, once again, shouldn't have been too hard, right? The answer is 26, right? Because if he's at 13 and he's made it 50% of the way, right, then it's another 13 miles to get to the rest of the way. So that one shouldn't have felt too crazy. All right. Well, so we have the parts and we have the percent, right? So if we wanted to do the math, we would take the percent, right? 50. So we take the part and divide it by the percent. So, right, 13 divided by 0.5 or 50% is 26. So, yeah. And of course, hopefully, once again, if you think about what the question's actually asking, right? Well, if he's at the 13-mile mark, then it can't be 6.5 miles because he's already gone 13 miles, but it's okay. All right. The recreation club added 120 new members to its 750 member roster. What percent did its membership increase? So, right, we take our part divided by our whole to get our percent. So 120. I got 16%. That's okay. But yeah. See? And we didn't do nothing, right? I play with the remote. Yeah, I was doing, yeah. Okay, I won't yell. I'll just cry. I don't ask for much around here, guys. I'm just trying to teach. I'm just trying to help people get their GED. If you wouldn't mind, help me out a little bit. Yeah. Oh yeah, and this one's angry too.
That's why I was like.
But it's probably angry because the projector's angry. Wow. So anyway, for you folks on Zoom, our projector screens in the classroom are just like totally glitched out here, so. Cool. Don't power off, just stay on. See, yeah, like. You're right. I said I was gonna. Yeah, that's right. It didn't hear me. Oh, okay, where is it?
It heard
It
you.
heard me.
Take it from you.
All right, well, hopefully our projector folds. Okay, so then finally, in a state with a 6.5% sales tax, how much tax did Felicia pay on a $68 coat? Right, so we take 68 times our 0.065, right? 6.5%. And so she's paying $4.42. And once again, maybe you could just kind of reason it out, you know, like if you look, well, if you thought about it, does anyone know what's 10% of 68? Just 6.8, right? Or $6.80. So you would know, right, that it can't be more than 10%. And so of course, the only number that's less than 10% of 68 is that number. But anyway, okay. Let's look at number 24 and 25. A company ordered 28 cartons of copier paper. A clerk put 75% of the cartons in a supply room. How many cartons did the clerk put in the supply room? So, right, we just need our part, right? So we take our percent, 0.75% times our 28. So 21 boxes or cartons of paper. We want to find the part. So if we know, like, so they're saying, here's a whole, what is such and such percent of it? That when we multiply. It is. I know, I'm like, I'm not gonna touch anything. That was good. That was perfect. Okay. You folks on Zoom doing okay? Are these making sense for you guys? Hopefully. All right, and then I know it's like the tables turned on us. That's right. And I totally didn't even notice for who knows how long. Sorry, math. I have to like dig in. Yeah. Your brand new machine. Exercise, you need to increase. Come on, demon. Yeah, I'm too much of a demon. It's not gonna work. Yeah.
I mean, it's 9, I guess I know we did it, but. I think it's something, you know?
You know.
Kind of focus.
Yeah. See, are you gonna be happy now? Proud of you. You're the best piece of classroom equipment ever. I love you so much. Okay, at least you guys can see, hopefully. All right. So last one here, guys, and thanks for hanging in there. In a survey, 45% of those polled, or 108 people, said that they buy at least 3 brands of cereal each week. Damn. 3 brands of cereal a week. That's a lot of cereal. That's a lot of milk. All right. So yeah, so we have the percent and we have the part. So how many total people were in the survey? 240? I haven't gotten that far, right? So we take the part, 108, and divide it by the percent, 0.45. So yes. Woohoo. Well done. All right. Okay, so we'll jump back into our lesson and keep working on that stuff in the second half of class, but let's go ahead and take a break. So yeah, we'll take a 10-minute break. So we'll take a break till about 11. Oops. And then maybe the projector will be on by then. Who knows? Yeah, I know, like in that corner, it kind of, yeah, kind of. It is what it is. Yeah, we can have kind of some physics lessons, I guess. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. It's a 2.7 from the valley. So, wow.
Right. Sorry about the extended break, everyone. It's a little bit funky of a day. All right, let's go into our percent lesson. All right, so let's see. Okay, so hopefully everyone still has our percent lesson that looks like this. At least the front page looks like that. Okay. So we made pretty good progress, and I feel like everyone's getting this stuff down pretty well. So let's see. All right. So I feel like we've gotten this down pretty well, so I don't know if we need to practice like in class. But just remember, right, when you're trying to find the percent, you take the part and divide it by the whole, and then what you can do is multiply by 100, and then you would get your, this is page 142. Where it says finding the percent. So it's the 6th page in our packet. Right. Hmm. 142 in the top left corner. No, this is percent. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know.
All right. Do you want to go grab it out of the binder?
Yep.
Cool. Anna, you got this one though? Bailey, do you have this one? Okay. Sorry about that, Adriana. Good to go. Okay. To figure out where we're at, Anna? Okay. So like I said, hopefully everyone's feeling good about this. So part divided by the whole. And then what you can do to help you, right, is if you want, right, you can then multiply by 100 so that you actually get the percent, right, 20%. But hopefully if you got the answer 0.2, hopefully from what we practiced last week, everyone's feeling like 0.2 is 20%. And that you're feeling comfortable kind of making those conversions, right? 1/5, 20%, 0.2, right? Same. Okay. Do you guys feel okay on this, or would it be helpful to just work these problems just to remind ourselves what we're doing? Okay, everyone's okay? If you want to work on those problems on your own, you can. Let's actually practice. Well, okay, so one more time, is everyone feeling good about these kind of simple percent problems where you need to find the percent, the whole, or the part? Is everyone feeling good about that, or do we need more practice? Bailey, Anna, thoughts? Feeling good, Anna? What do you think? So are you feeling good about these problems that are pretty basic, like finding the part, the percent, or the whole? Are you feeling okay on those? Like what we were warming up on, did you feel good with those? All right. So I think just in the interest of what we're doing, so if you need more practice with that, right, go ahead and, you can work on pages 142. All right, let's jump ahead to page 146. So let's move ahead 2 pages, okay? And let's just kind of talk about this, okay? And so, this goes back to what we were talking about in our little practice multiple choice questions. And so, we can use percents, right? And do a lot of mental math, hopefully. That's what we're trying to kind of think about here. So they give us these everyday percent rules. Okay, so sorry. So, right, 10% is the same as 1/10 or 1/10 of a number. So to find 10% of a number, you just divide by 10. Okay, And so once again, just having these concepts kind of clear in your mind, right? So when I see the number 80, right, I know that 8 is 10%, right? Because I basically just take my zeros off, okay? Or at least take 1 0 off, and that's 10%. 2 zeros, right? So hopefully that makes sense to everyone, okay? The next everyday percent rule, right? 25% is the same as 1/4 of a number. So to find 25% of a number, divide by 4. What's another word that we use to talk about 25% or 1/4? What money word? Quarter. Good. So for me, right, whenever I see 25% or 1/4, I might just call it a quarter, right? Because it is that. And so always thinking, okay, are we dividing up by tens? Are we dividing up by fours? Okay. So hopefully that helps you kind of see what to do, right? So anytime there's a 25%, right, we're thinking of a quarter of the whole. Okay. 33 1/3% is the same as 1/3 of a number, right? So here we're dividing into thirds, right? So here we have tenths, fourths or quarters, thirds, and then halves, right? And that was that other one where I was like, oh, well, if he's gone 13 miles and that's halfway, then we just add another 13 miles to get 100%, okay? 50% is the same as half of a number. So I don't know if you guys do this when you're shopping on sales and you're trying to kind of figure out how much your discount is, right? And so, yeah, if it's a 25% discount, right, you get 1/4 of the price off, 1/3 of the price off. 50% off sounds good. Let me see who's texting me here. Might be important. Nope, just spam. Just spam and emails. So anyway, don't worry too much, but this is just kind of that conceptual base. And so just trying to kind of put this in your brain and conceptualize what we're doing these ways, okay? Work with compatible numbers. Compatible numbers are numbers that you can easily multiply or divide. And so use compatible numbers whenever possible. So this is just giving us, right, how to kind of estimate. And so once again, if you can get efficient at estimating and kind of using your estimate to help you find your multiple choice answer, that's definitely a strategy that people use. And like I said, it's good to just always kind of be thinking this way. So of course, if you saw something like what is 25% of 79, right, we can round both of those up to numbers we can work with, right? I can divide 80 by 4. So I know that 24% of 79 is going to be around 20, right? We think here, what is 11% of 412? Well, right, 11% is close to 10%. 412 is close to 410. So once again, right, I can say 11% of 412 is going to be about 41%. Okay. So hopefully that's making sense. So of course you won't have test questions that will necessarily, right, ask you to do these estimation things. But once again, these are really just strategies. So hopefully you feel like you're putting on this brain and understanding. And so, yeah. So you can kind of always just do that. Now, 8 is what percent of 31, right? Then you just want to adjust that. And then just do your dividing. But like I said, don't worry too much about this, but hopefully the ideas make sense. Are there any questions or confusions about, how we kind of mentally estimate and mentally apply percentages and stuff? Does this kind of Make sense, or is it more confusing than anything? Good. Good. And like I said, probably we do use 10% all the time, right? Kind of figuring out tax or tips. Stuff like that. All right, then let's move on to the next lesson. And like I said, if you want to do the practice problems that we haven't gone through together, you can go back and do those. The answers are in the back of your packet. But let's go ahead and just keep working through the information that we need, okay? So definitely one of the ways that percents are often highlighted on the GED test is questions that talk about increasing or decreasing, okay? And then of course the percent change or the percent increase. So just like it says here, right? Many percent problems involve increasing or decreasing by a whole or some percent. For some problems of this type, we can use a calculator. Hooray, thank you. We've called and we've sent 2 tickets. Again, thank you. Oh, thanks. No, I did not see that email. Thanks for the update, Linda. Yeah. So let's look at how these percent change problems work, okay? So in a state with a 5% sales tax, what is the purchase price of a used car listed at $8,500? Okay, so does everyone understand what the question is asking? What's the question asking? Right, the grand total or the purchase price. So what would that consist of? What 2 pieces would you need? What information would you need to calculate the purchase price or the grand total? Okay, and what would that give us? So hopefully it just makes sense, right? So they want us to find the purchase price, right? So it's 2 steps is what I'm saying, Adriana, and no worries, right? So of course, in order to find the purchase price, first we have to calculate how much sales tax, right, is going to be charged. Right? But then we have to take that information plus, right, the listed price to get our actual answer, right? So it has those 2 steps to it. Does that make sense? So we have to first use these 2 numbers, like you said, right, to figure out how much tax you pay. But then we have to take that amount of tax and add it back to the list price to get the purchase price. Okay. So it's just those 2 pieces. So this is step 1. And then step 2 will be adding it to get our total price. So just like it's saying, right, your calculator can help you do this. So first we figure out how much sales tax we owe. So what is 5% or 0.05 times 8,500? So the sales tax is $425. So then we add that to our list price. So the final price, $8,925. So for these percent increase or decrease questions, there's usually 2 steps involved, okay? So let's look at some more practice problems, okay? Not getting it? Okay, so step 1, right? We take our percent and our whole and we calculate how much sales tax we need. Okay. No, I have to multiply When I multiply 0.05 times 8,500, it gives me $425. So that tells me how much tax you have to pay on the list price, right? So then, right, since the question says what is the purchase price, the question isn't saying how much tax do you pay on the car, but when tax is included, what's the total price? So then we add it to our listed price, and that gives us our. Yep. So hopefully everyone's feeling good about when you look at a percent, can you convert it into a decimal? We practiced that last week. Hopefully that feels good. Okay. And then just know that for these increase and decrease questions, it's usually there's multiple steps. So it's always like you calculate one thing and then you add it or subtract it from something to get the actual answer that they're asking. Okay. So let's look at some more practice questions on the next page. Does everyone have this noted? Okay. All right. So you can see here, this gives you a pretty good sense of, right? Okay, so these are the scenarios that we will encounter, okay? So we might see a rate increase, a rate decrease. We might see a markup in cost. We might see a discount, right? Okay. So if we have a rate increase, the new amount, right, is going to be the original amount plus the amount of the increase. And so that's what we saw in our last example, right? The purchase price of the car was equal to the listed price plus the sales tax. Okay. So let's look at what we've got here. By changing jobs, Dave increased his monthly salary by 7%. What does Dave earn now if his previous job paid $1,230 a month? So where do we start? Right? We have to figure out what is the increase. So we have to find, right, what is 7% of our whole, right? Okay. So definitely always, are we increasing or decreasing? And then what information do we have? Okay. So first we figure out, right, what was the increase? So if he made $1,030 and he made a 7% increase, right, times 0.07. So his new salary, right, his salary has increased by $86.10, right? Okay, so then to figure out what does Dave earn now, we then take our, right, our 8610 and add it to 1,230. And now, right, how much does Dave earn now? He makes $1,316.10 a month. So good on Dave. Okay. So go ahead and try number 2 on your own. When you have number 2 answered, let me know. And if you're waiting for everyone to be ready for number 2, then you can move on to the other remaining 6 questions. But I just want us to, because like I said, these ones are definitely the GED style questions. And so hopefully you can kind of see why we set the foundation we did and why what we're building. Okay. But just do that first one. Let me know if you've got it. Everyone still working on this one? All right, so it should just be right, the same steps as the previous two questions that we've looked at. So, right, first we have to figure out what is the increase, right? So to calculate the increase, we take 4.5% of 86. So 0.045, right? That's 4.5% as a decimal times $86. So that means, right, that the increase is going to be $3.87 more a month. Okay. So then, right, we add that to the original amount to get the new amount, right? So we add 86 and then it says round to the nearest dollar. So do I round this up to 90 or do I keep it at 89? Good. So, oops, sorry, this should be up here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and you can definitely, there's lots of good practice on that. If you have time to review the beginning of the lesson of the packet. Cool. Yeah, because that's definitely the first step for sure. Yeah. Okay. No worries. All right. So then, of course, if it's a decrease, then, right, you still have to calculate what the change is. But now, of course, because it's a decrease, you subtract it from the original amount. Whereas if it's an increase, we add it, right? So by turning their thermostat down to 68 degrees during the winter months, the Mondellas hope to save 6% on their monthly heating bills. If they succeed, how much will the Mondel's heating bills average if last winter they averaged $182.50? Okay, so hopefully everyone can see that the 68 degrees is just extra noise. It does not, right, apply to we just need these two numbers, right? So hopefully everyone caught that. So same thing, right? I'm going to take my whole 182.50 and multiply it by 6% or 0.06. So that means, right, that they should be saving $10.95 a month, right? And so we take 182.50 minus 10.95 a month. And so hopefully, right, with that cost saving measure, right, their heating bills will now be $171.55. Okay. So go ahead and try number 4. See how it works. You guys ready to look at number 4? Okay. So to lose weight, Gregory's been advised to cut his daily calorie intake by 30%. Before starting this diet, Gregory consumed about 2,700 calories each day. While on the diet, what target level to the nearest 100 calories per day should Gregory try to obtain? So, right? So if this is his current calorie intake, and we need to cut it by 30%. So what's 30% of 2,700? Let's see what we got. All right, so we take 2,700 times 0.3, right? Or 30%. So he needs to reduce his calories by 810, right? So then we take, right? So he needs to go down 810 calories. Okay. So we take our 2,700 minus 810. So then do we round this up to 1,900 or do we round it down to 1,800 to the nearest 100? Good. Yep. Good. So he needs to go down to about 1,900 calories a day. Questions? Does it make sense? That's okay. Good, good, awesome. Okay, let's try these bottom 4. So the markup and the discount should be the same, right? As a rate increase or decrease, right? So you're doing the same thing, okay? So if they're marking up a product, right, the selling price will equal the store's cost plus their markup, whereas, right, the discount is the opposite. So see how you do on these 4. Salud. How are you guys doing? Working a little bit still? Okay. All right. Are you guys ready to talk about these ones? Okey doke. Bailey, are you good or? Okay. Awesome. Well, hopefully these are making sense. Like I said, these are definitely what we're building toward and what you'll see. So Central Hardware places a 30% markup on each item it sells. If Central pays $13.50 for strong arm hammers, what price will Central charge its own customers for these hammers? So, right, we take the store's cost times their markup, right? 30% or 0.3. So they're gonna mark it up $4.05, right? So they will charge $17.55, right? For the hammer. Well, that's how they make money, right? Because they have to, of course, yeah. That's the whole point of a store. They have hammers at the dollar store. But this is a strong arm hammer. It's made with, I don't know. It was like, actually, I don't think you want steel. I still think you want your hammer made out of iron. I can't remember. All right. At Herman's men's store, Herman pays $59 for Paris Nights sweaters. Ooh, sounds nice. And then he, right, marks them up 35%. And of course, right, that 35% markup is the profit that the store makes, right? Because of course, they have to spend money, right, to make their money. So we've got a $59 cost times a 0.35 markup. So he's going to mark up the sweaters $20.65. Excuse me. So he will charge $79.65 for the sweaters. Only if it tells you. And, you know, for the GED, you know, most of the time it's multiple choice answers. So it should be pretty clear what to do with whatever number you get, but yes. All right, so then the discounts, right, work the opposite way. Valley Appliances is marking down appliances 20%. So what would be the sale price of a washing machine that sells for $289? So $289 with a or shoot. So the discount is $57.80. So I totally typed that in wrong. Yeah. Okay, 289 minus, was 57.8 the discount? So 231.20? Yeah. I wonder if it's a dishwasher or a laundry washer. Or maybe it's just a round washer. Hopefully not. Yeah, it's like pure platinum washer. All right, Salem Motors is offering a 15% discount on any used car in stock. Interested in a good deal, the Carmino family is looking at a used compact car and has a sticker price of $9,800. So let's calculate our discount. So the total price times 0.15. So we're going to take $1,470 off. So 9,800 minus 1,470. And then if we didn't say to the nearest $100, so do we round up to 8,400 or round to 8,300? 83. And so it'll be about $8,300 compact car. Okay, everyone feeling okay about these problems? Hopefully the little recipes make sense. And like I said, this is definitely, yeah, definitely GED style questions. Okay. Kira. All right, let's continue then. Okay. All right. So I think we've worked on this before when we were doing ratios and percents. So hopefully everyone remembers this formula, right, for calculating the interest. Okay. So, right, we always have the P stands for principal. So how much money did you start with? What is the rate? Okay. And then here it's telling us if this is a yearly interest rate, but we only want to know 8 months, right? Then we have to say that our time is 8 out of 12 months. Okay. Does everyone see how that works? Think so? So, and of course, it's actually funny. Well, it's not funny. They don't say in the question, right, that this is a yearly rate, but I guess we're supposed to assume that. So of course, yeah. So of course, that's what you would need to recognize there. And then remember that the interest that you're owed, right, the interest that you make is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. So if you have $600 in the bank at 6% for 8 months, you'll earn $24 in interest. Okay. So these should ring a bell. Okay. So go ahead, and this is just, but hopefully this makes sense, right? So write each time period as a proper fraction, reduce if possible. So you're just saying, right, that 4 months is 4/12 of a year, right? Or 1/3, right? 6 months is easy, right? That's half. 9 months, 9/12. Oops. Or thank you. I was like, why isn't this helping my brain? And then, right, 11 does not reduce, 11/12. Okay. So then 3 months is, right, 0.25. 4 months is 0.33, right? 9 months. 10 months is what? 5/6. Oops. So then a year and 3 months, right, is 1.25. 2 years and 4 months is 2.333. 2 years and 9 months is 2. Do these conversions make sense to everyone, what we're doing here? So we're thinking about a year in terms of months, right? So of course, right, 4 months is the same as a third of a year, or 0.333333 of a year. 6 months, right, is the same as half a year. 9 months is the same as 3/4 of a year. 11 months is 11/12 of a year. Does that make sense? So we're using the year as our whole, which is 12 months, and our number of months is our part. Okay. So then when you get here, if you have 1 year, then you have a whole and part. So you either write it as a improper fraction or as a decimal. Okay. So we'll need these conversions for our problems, okay? But it doesn't look like we'll get there. So if you want to work on the, what are there? There's 8 problems on the back. If you want to do those in preparation for next Tuesday's class, you can. If not, we can start there when we pick this up next Tuesday, okay? Are there any questions or problems or concerns or anything at this time? Awesome. Okay. Well, cool. Thank you guys for your hard work. We'll go ahead and just, I think it's a good stopping point for us. So, yeah. All right. So remember that we'll go back to our algebra lesson on Thursday. So if you guys are feeling strong with your basic algebra, you can still come to class on Thursday. Let me know if you feel like you need something else to work on. But I think all of that is in the blue binder, so you should be able to grab so the algebra lesson has kind of a funky front. It has a review on the front, but that's just because the first page of the chapter. Yeah. So that's the one we'll work on Thursday. So we're doing percents on Tuesday, equations, algebra on. Need mutual. We have social studies at 1. Yes. So did you do your actual test or did you just? Yeah, okay. And so you still just can't get in there. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, the first time I spoke, so yeah,
I noticed that.
so do you want some paper tests to kind of study from on your own? Yeah.
See where.
Yeah.
Thing that I can do, which I kind of think I do, but I don't know if I don't know. Yeah, but it's like, I'm not comprehending. Asking me. So I'll see you on Friday.
Okay. Yeah, and if you want to stick around till like 5:30, yeah, be fine. Or if you want,
And then if you want, on that, if you want to like, homework.
yes, you want some practice.
Yeah, like homework for what we learn.
Do you want me to print it off and text you or?
I think print off would be.
Okay, I'll let you know and I'll try and get that put together. Yeah. You want these exact study pages to look at too, because I feel like we went through a lot of this in class. We might have already seen this back half. Or like I said, I can just give you a couple of just practice tests to try out. Just kind of, okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
So for sure, I won't link my book. And it's GED certified on my cover. So I don't understand. Maybe.
Yeah. It's a.
Yeah, 'cause this will be my next. Yeah, probably. Short test, but yeah, I'll be able to.
Did you schedule anyone? You did schedule.
For Friday. That's okay. I wasn't sure what day I finally set myself for Friday, so I was wondering if it was Thursday or Friday, and Friday morning, first thing, but. Go in. Wait. Like a 2-hour test.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, I will. Those together. Right, eat some lunch and I should be able to catch you with those.
Yeah, maybe that's afternoon.
Yeah.
No problem, remember to eat, go ahead and eat, and I don't mind waiting around later on after class either, so.
I looked up because, yeah, I got treated to breakfast this morning and I had leftovers, so I'm like, hey, I'll just eat the rest of this for lunch.
I had a rough start this morning, but that's for small. Personal life, you know.
Yep.
What do you do?
Yeah.
But
Hopefully just carry on as best we can. Yeah.
Awesome. Have a good one.
You as well. I'll see you later.